Yeah, shoot it. We shot the
Shoot it.
movie in 13 days, so it was incredibly quick. I mean, I would say that your average indie film is probably like a 20-day shoot or 21, even that can be kinda short. I mean,
Yeah.
a Hollywood film is like a big studio film can be 3 months, maybe even longer. If there's pickup shots and whatnot, it could be like a 6-month project. So, yeah, we shot this so quickly, especially considering that we had never seen the location before. I mean, we'd seen pictures, but,
Yeah.
we really did this. There's so many miracles that went into making this. I mean, there were so many things that went wrong, but we just like rolled with it. And I think that Alexandra and I, it's been like a great lesson in just sort of, I don't know, overcoming obstacles. Making a movie is all about overcoming obstacles. It really is. It's like a series of hurdles. And so it was very quick to shoot it, but because it was also quick to shoot it and because we did it, it was a micro budget and we did it like so quickly and on the fly, it also was an incredibly long post production experience. So because we didn't have the luxury of having the financing to just like pay everyone to all our collaborators to just do it, and because COVID hit, so there were a number, and I moved back to the East Coast, so we were on different coasts. And also, as co directors, we always had to be on the same page. So we weren't just making singular decisions, we had to be on the same page. And we're very blessed to have very similar taste. And that's something we've realized. We actually have another project in the works, and I think we're both it's been such a blessing. Alexandra and I call each other we're work wives, and
Yeah.
we like just next to my relationship with my husband, like I've never had the level of intimacy that I've had with Alexandra, like with anyone before Alexandra, because you're in it. Like I don't have kids, but we created this baby together. It's like separate from us. It's like a separate entity. And sometimes like what I think is best for the baby is not what Alexandra thinks is best for the baby. And we have to collectively figure out what's best for the baby and get on the same page, and because we co-own it, and we don't co-own it,
Mhm.
it's like its own entity because you don't own
Yeah.
anything in this world, right? But it is like we're the shepherds of this child that we have
Mhm.
collectively created.
I love that. I love this idea of you two partnering together and creating something, birthing something together. And Alexandra, I'm curious. So the title of the movie is Unpacking, right? Which I love because there's so many meanings to that. But what did you discover during this process? Because you have this idea, you're in make a film, which is a huge idea. And I know you guys have been in the space and in this industry for a long time, but how did you change during the process? Is there something you learned about yourself, just like the women on the retreat in the movie maybe weren't sure what they were going to discover about themselves at the end? What did that look like for you two as you finish this project? And maybe not just even at the end of shooting it, but even at the end of really doing all the post production work as well.
I think I've always been a learn by doing kind of person. That's just my whole life. I've needed to like get my hands on it and figure it out for myself instead of hear about it. I guess what I found my sort of biggest growth was in really, it sounds so corny, but learning to love the process or just learning to accept that it is so much about the process. You make
Mhm.
something and then you give it out into the world in the end, but like it took just McCall and I loving this story when everyone else was ready to be done with it for years to really get it to the point it is now and to really care about the details and care about the women, but also care about each of our different collaborations. And I think it opened me up to the reality of how powerful collaboration is. And filmmaking is such a uniquely collaborative art form where like we had never worked with a composer before. That was such a journey to figure out what do we even like? How do we communicate that with them? How do we build these cues? How do we shout out to Mitchell Manberg? This was also his first feature, and we really learned together. And I think you have that triangle of like good, fast, cheap, and we ended up going cheap and slow on this because that's what we could
Yeah.
do with our collaborators. But it did give us the chance to sort of build up confidence in what does it look like to color grade a movie? What does it look like to do sound on it, to have some visual effects put into it, to get stuck on a movie and know that there's something better in there, but not know how to break the narrative hurdle ourselves, and like who are the outside eyes that we can rely on, and whose perspective we're going to understand, and whose perspective is going to jostle us into something new and exciting. And we had those breakthroughs because we invited collaborators in. And because I think too, we were two people that, like McCall said, we're so blessed to have such similar taste in what we value storytelling wise and what we're drawn to performance wise. But we're still two different people. So it's not like the movie that I would make on my own or the movie McCall would make on her own. It's the movie we made
Mhm.
together, which is an entirely different creature. And I think that's like the women in our movie, something so important to us to show is these retreats are sometimes advertised as like reset your soul in a week or like find your purpose in a week. And we're like, that's just not possible. That's just not really how life works. It's a journey. And we wanted to explore that. And I think like the truth in that is you can plant a lot of seeds in that amount of time. If you put a group of women together and you make them raw and vulnerable and real, you're going to get something magical happening. But are they going to like solve every deep trauma that they've ever had? Of course not. But they're going to start on a journey that then should be a lifetime journey. And I think
Yeah.
that's sort of what this film gifted me is like, this is my first film. And I learned so much from it. And I want to take those lessons and do it again. And then take those lessons and do it again. And like really commit to this as like a a life journey to how to become a better storyteller and what skills it takes to tell different stories and what different stories are asking of me as the like shepherd or creator or collaborator. So I don't know. To sum that all up, I guess I would say the biggest lessons are like trusting the process, learning to actually enjoy the process, be way more patient than I've ever had to be. Yeah, like, but in that, there's just so much like constant beauty, joy, surprise.